Hello and welcome. Today's video, we're breaking down Rise of the Ronin's actual setup when it comes to combat, giving you the details that you need to get started and to lock in with the best type of combat you can have in the game. If you guys don't know, Team Ninja makes fast-paced, action-oriented games, and this game right here will be jam-packed with a lot of great combat. Very challenging, but it's also very rewarding if you can master the skills. And in this game, there's plenty, and I mean plenty, of details to get into when it comes to the combat because they are really locked in to give you the best type of experience. We're going to get into it right now. I want to just talk about the three stances that are very important. All right, there's high, medium, and low, and this actually is going to be combining the variety of combat styles. So depending on what weapon you have, depending on the skills when it comes to the play styles from the schools that you learn. If you haven't watched my video about the schools and overall view, you can watch that after this. But basically in the game, you're able to go to different people, build bonds and relationships, learn different tactics and skills, which are a part of your move sets in the game that are going to allow you to play how you want as well as be most effective in the field. Okay, that is a critical part of the game. You're going to be definitely having a good time working with that, and we'll get in depth for each playstyle when I'm allowed to. But right now we want to get into these stances and then help you understand the systems, because I believe that's the most important thing when it comes to this game. Okay, so take a quick look and let's go down the rabbit hole. So as you can see right here, this right here is the number one thing in the game when it comes to understanding the systems and how they work. There's plenty of details to get into when it comes to it, but in the end of the day, this is the number one system, and I want to showcase a demo of how this system works. Okay, you're looking at the same company, Team Ninja's most recent game called Wo Long, and this is a system that they'll be using, which is called martial arts. And you can see right here, when I hold R1 on the PlayStation, I have three move sets that I can pick from. Right now, this is one, this is the second one, and then I can keep going, doing a variation of different aspects. Of course, there's even more. In this game, there's 6 total that you're able to utilize, and it just depends on what you feel best works for the situation. Now in this game, it doesn't have the similar style that I'll talk about a little later, but again, martial arts are in this game, a variety of attacks that are very unique, very different. Okay, and just to kind of showcase some of the actual setup when it comes to the weapons, you can see it right here. It'll break down every little detail when it comes to that and showcase all of the martial arts, similar to what you're going to be seeing in Rise of the Ronin. Of course, Rise of the Ronin has a deeper, more in-depth, newer system that they're going to be implementing. But what I wanted to showcase was the actual weapon and those martial arts attached to it, as well as your attacks. You're able to use a normal attack, a charged attack, then you have your advancing attack, and then of course your counter spark. All right, counter sparks are basically parries, aka deflects, that we did see in Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. So those are back, but with a new twist. They have some really cool elements where you can be aggressive as well and attack an enemy to deflect them instead of having to wait for a parry specifically. So all of those things are combined. And then on the top area right above here, you can see the 4 martial arts for this specific weapon. Remember, each weapon will have their own martial arts. So you're going to have a good variety of different play styles, and it's going to change everything for your game when you're on. Okay, so those are the key things to note, and I want to try and stress that, you know, the variations that I have for Wulong are so good. And I do believe they're going to use Neo and Wulong combat and add it to this game in its own way. And you can see right here, the style is called N. Okay. And you can see at the bottom, this is one of the key components about your combat, is that you have to build a bond with a specific character. That's going to enhance your gameplay, unlocking new elements. And then a bigger and more important thing on the bottom, it says novice at the moment. And if you train, you'll most likely boost this up to the maximum, and you can do some really special things with this specific playstyles. And I want to talk about the relationships for a second, even though I'll have a separate video breaking all that down. And remember, we're going to have guides for this in detail as the game progresses and new updates and information comes out. You can see right here, there's a bunch of different allies you can group up with. Each of them will have their own abilities as far as their strength, dexterity, and so much more. You can build the bond up to 4 right now. We've seen it 1 through 4. And then favors, that's how much things you've done to be able to max it out. Once it's maxed out, you'll get related boost for yourself. You get related boost for them, but you're unlocking all of these very cool combat related fighting styles and things that you can use within the game. Okay, so make sure you unlock this as fast as possible. This will be one of the first things I'll be doing, making sure I get every character I can. The game has a story, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect everything depending on who you bond with, but hopefully we can bond with everybody. In Wulong, you can. So I would assume that they would do the same here. Who knows? But it's a possibility. It would be very exciting to have that be played out. Okay. Now, I just want to take a moment to talk about some of the combat stuff that I just talked about to give you a deeper understanding. Okay. So each stance has about 7 offensive moves and 1 parry. So you're going to be able to have 21 offensive moves across the 3 stances. Then you could mix and match by the player. So think about the combinations that you can create with the things you unlock from these different schools and so much more. So that makes it for a super interesting setup. And think about this, okay? We have the grapple to add extra combat versatility, okay? So maybe I'll start up a combo just the way you do, but then instead of continuing, I'll use my grapple to pull them to me or pull myself to them or throw an item at them and change the fighting style and really turn it up into another level. So there's plenty of that to be had in the game when it comes to what you want to do and how you want to play. And it's super important to understand that the freedom will be yours. And I can tell you right now, as somebody who loves Team Ninja's combat, I get in depth with this stuff and I really, really master it. And it's so fun because you can play a totally different type of game depending on what you're looking for. So very cool things going forward. As you can see right now, flying in the air, you can fire as well. You have your long range weapons, which will allow you to be more versatile within the fights as well. Adding them in there will be super interesting because that's a different dynamic when you're doing hack and slash and all of a sudden you pull out a pistol, you pull out a rifle, whatever the case may be. Putting all that into your actual setup is very critical. And so I'm going to be leaving you guys by telling you thank you. Make sure you like if it was helpful, and please share your thoughts on this combat below. I do have that brand new video talking about the bonding system that you could check out right now. Appreciate you.